when I won the award, it was then called Yala Award. I had to go to Oslo to receive this, and I think soon it became African prize, and that's very good to bring it home. And by then, 14 years ago, what was recognized of me by that particular time, and let me say Africa Harvest, because I didn't work alone, I was within an institution, is providing leadership to championing a process where we could get bananas seedling from the lab, because by then the country had the banana value chain was almost disappeared because of diseases and such. We were importing bananas from Uganda actually, and what we did, providing leadership, working with the Kenya Agriculture Research Institute and other organizations, by then Rockefeller Foundation, which later became AGRA, was to champion a process where we would actually develop the value chain for banana, focusing on smallholder farmers and making it a success story where the farmers themselves are making money, they are getting microfinance and increasing their orchards. And we started by developing the seed system, then we improved agronomy. Banana was then like 15, we were getting an average like 15 tons per hectare, and then we moved that to 40, which it is today even higher. And then the market linkages, and must recognize the work then done by the Dr. Kina Desina. He was then here in the Rockefeller Foundation, because we were the agriculture economists who helped us to think through, turn it from science into serious business, and we worked together, and then really made a success story. Kenya today is turning into the market a good almost 2 million tons of fruit per year. The quality has increased, banana has become more available. We are no longer importing. At the same time, as a pathology, let me say we have kept the disease out. So banana become a success story, which now, of course, many people came to join the success story, which is what you'd hope for. When you provide leadership to something, you encourage others to join. And so what this award did, it opened doors for me and for Africa Harvest. The first benefit that came from this, I was given another award. The University of Bath, where I got my PhD in 1991, invited me. They looked at the work I had done now, and I believe this was a trigger. And I was awarded the Doctor of Science, an honorary Doctor of Science, which was a wonderful recognition because of this holistic work the same year. Later, I was also 2004, I got another award, Kenya Eve Women's Award, another success story. Now, what happened to the banana itself? By then, the first thing we did first is move the banana scale up. We first scaled up. By then, by the time we got to this recognition, we had started our work in Meru, Kirinyaga, a kind of eastern province of Kenya. But from that time, we scaled up to almost all banana growing areas of Kenya. We in 12 counties, all the way to Kisii. We moved up to Western Kenya, all the way to Kisii. So 12 counties in Kenya, from 3 to 12 counties. Now, outside Kenya, we also scaled up. Outside Kenya, we scaled up banana in Uganda, the same techniques, technologies, the value chain approach, seed system, good agronomy linked to the market. We went to Tanzania, worked with Mari, developed a seed system again in the western part, which is a banana growing area, started the scale up, set the seed system, agronomy, nurseries, made banana there, another success story, is still ongoing with other organizations there. Then we went to Burundi, the same success story. And again, we went to Malawi and started something there. And the opportunities are many actually. We're looking for scaling up even the rest of Africa with the funding support. In terms of which donors we partnered with, because you can't do this work without support from development partners and donors. AGRA came in after Rockefeller Foundation. AGRA funded the banana value chain for 3 years. That took us to 2011. And then again, you see when it's a success story, one donor gives baton to another. USAID came in also at another one of their programs, and they funded Scale Up Western Kenya actually. Then after that came Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They also funded the Banana Scale Up. Then believe me, after that IFAD, which is a bank, but they also do deal with the hunger and poverty reduction. IFAD has funded one of our projects which went to the 3 countries, Kenya, Uganda, as well as Burundi. Then AGRA came back on a small grant for us to study the Malawi, how we can scale up. So there have been, and now we also, again, with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, supporting nurseries in Uganda and Tanzania. So we have never really left banana. We just moved from one project to another, and believe me, just this week we got an invitation to support a laboratory in Ethiopia through Africa Development Bank. So because of our ability, it's not just a project it's about to move banana from laboratory to a business, in encouraging microfinance, scale up, nutrition, food systems, developing income, women participating. 60% of participants in this project are women. And because banana is more or less a woman crop, although when it becomes successful, men see the business and join. It's a good example of what happened to the family. The food, nutrition, the family income, the ability to educate the children, improve their livelihoods. That's why it has gone to those dimensions. And so we are really excited about this. We did not sit on the award. We use the award very well to support the growth and development and scale up of the banana across the board. I think tissue culture cannot solve all the African problem because tissue culture is a technique mainly needed for the vegetatively propagated crops like banana, cassava, sweet potato, potato itself, by the way, because what it does, it excludes the disease, looks for good variety. They could be high yielding variety, they could be disease resistant, and because unlike the seed where you use breeding, the vegetatively propagated crops have a problem with the seed system getting enough numbers, and so the tissue culture removes the bottleneck on numbers. We have also been able to multiply cassava. We have been able to use the same technique to multiply all the sweet potato, especially the origin fresh sweet potato. We have also moved in to help the potato industry. So it has potential, especially for those vegetatively propagated crops, because they are also very vulnerable to virus diseases, which cause through degeneration, reduction in yield. Is really a very important tool for scale up, increase productivity at the business aspects of development at those vegetatively propagated crops. Again, tissue culture alone is not enough to develop. You need complementation with other value chains. And for Africa Harvest, beyond the tissue culture, we actually have worked on 10 value chains. Since we got the award, we have gone to 10 value chains. We also moved to sorghum, and the leader sorghum is another award-winning value chain. And using the knowledge, because in development, knowledge is incremental. To be able to move a value chain, you need to listen to the farmer, listen to the needs, remove the barriers and bottleneck the value chain. Always know that you are addressing a market and so on. The incremental knowledge we gained from banana, we moved it now to other crops. And so we were able to tackle the sorghum. Sorghum is a major success story that you may not know. Africa Harvest and Carlo and Ikrisat started it literally from scratch in Kenya and Tanzania. We brought in high yielding varieties like Gadam and others that have been researched by Ikrisat and Carlo. Africa Harvest provided what we call participatory rural appraisal for the market to find what varieties they need. With that, then we developed the seed system by getting the seed companies and agro dealers to multiply. We started small here in Kenya in Tharaka, but now the sorghum is a success story. We have moved thousands of tons. Africa Harvest and Ikrisat moved 49,000 metric tons, bringing billions, in fact literal billions, to farmers who are poor became rich again. And so these value chains, once they are developed, and the ones we can link here, because the key thing is seed system, good agronomy, because that's the way you remove the raw productivity and it becomes commercially feasible. Now the big investors see the value in this, like the mounting, the flour industry. By then even there was nothing to bread, but now there's out of breading. We have been able to do that for sorghum, for millet, small grains. Again, Africa Harvest provides the championing, the knowledge we had done. Others joined in, even AGRA have been funding sorghum value chain. Other donors have come in. But again, ours have been to champion, develop success models, seed system, agronomy, and market linkages. Because we realized not only are you thinking about the market, what varieties are needed in the market. For example, the traditional society will not be able to form the flour that or what the company is looking for. So we try to match this SMEs. They could be large scale, small scale, what's their needs, and then look at what the farmers can produce. Make sure there is what I call inclusive marketing. We have also brought in what I call an aggregator model, which is because why many companies are importing is because they say we can't find volume, we can't find quality and timely delivery. So we brought a tool, we call it aggregator model, which helps us to aggregate, to bring the volume, quality and timely delivery. I believe that the hunger and the poverty in Africa, it can be resolved. And it has been resolved bottom up. Bottom up meaning if you look at what is happening in Kenya and across Africa, we are spending billions of dollars importing food crops our farmers can produce. Again, I go to the same question. When you go to a company that's importing groundnuts, we are now working with a company called Jetrag and SME, Western Kenya, developing the groundnut value chain with them. They tell you we cannot find volume, we cannot find quality and timely delivery. That's why we are importing. What can our governments do? Our government need to turn around and see how do we make it for farmers part of the development. And of course, I'm not saying Agra is not doing it, we are doing it, but we need to do it more to reduce the food import bill. There's no one who can't worry about our food import bill. And again, what we're importing, whether we're importing maize, we're importing sugarcane, we're importing rice, we're importing wheat, we're importing. Now look at the situation in Ukraine. Now we have a food crisis. This country, Kenya, where I am, we can actually produce wheat in the Rift Valley to feed Kenya. We can produce rice, especially bring high-grade rice. Now, how do we help our farmers? Our farmers are desperate for new varieties. They need knowledge, they need training, they need investment, mechanization, they need supporting training, they need linkage to the farmers, they need the high-yielding variety from research. We have to remove the barriers and bottlenecks. We can't produce this crop locally, but we must help the farmer. For a bigger crop like maize, we have to subsidize the fertilizer, make it cheaper, bring in mechanization. The success story we have in sorghum is because we brought in mechanization to reduce the drudgery of people beating sorghum by stake, and to be able to bring the volumes. We need finance for a tractor, so we have to mechanize. We have to find water to irrigate now with the climate change. The situation of climate change also shifting us now to be able to bring varieties with our smallholder farmers that can actually be used. They are drought tolerant or resistant, that they produce something under stress. Now, Africa Harvest, right now we are working on a project with 6 value chain, all small grains, green grams, groundnuts and pigeon peas. We're also looking at legumes like millet, figure millet, and palm millet, which are resistant to actually develop those value chains in a way that they are going to address food processing, value adding in terms of food system, but they anchor those smallholder farmers. We're also exploring the area of youth job creation. Now the smallholder farmer, the old smallholder farmer is getting older and older. So we have to shift the young people now to thinking about agriculture as a profitable business. And again, the farmer must be empowered. Whether it's a young farmer, whether it's a women, whether it's an old farmer, we have to empower with knowledge, with finance, with skills, with mechanization, with support to remove the barriers and bottlenecks to the market. The market must be available. And if you ask me, we have too much market in Africa because every crop we are importing is a market we can turn around. The same amount of money Kenyan government is using to import rice, we can turn it around, invest in high-grade rice, in irrigated rice, work with the new varieties that are here, to develop, bring in the inputs, and create jobs for everybody, bring a vibrant economy. We go to the Africa story, I understand we are spending about 35 billion importing foods from us. That is what the African countries should be looking at. And the bottom line, we must empower the farmer to be part of this success story.